if you want to earn more, you need to learn more. You can't escape that. So, but you have to learn from the right people. But one of the things that people don't do is to vet who they're learning from, right? And then people will ask me sometimes, like, what do you think of Joe Schmo? And I said, well, how many Olympic medalists has he coached? How many world record holders has he coached? Has he put people on the national team? No. Or one of the bullshit lines I'll see often is like, he has trained numerous Olympic athletes, but I always say, like, can you name one to me, please? And they always have more excuses than they're pregnant not to. And some of the guys that out there say stuff, they're so fucking dumb that they couldn't pour the piss out of a cowboy boot if the instructions were written on the e-hail, right? So it's like, I said, why are you listening to this guy? He's an idiot. Like, by the way he writes, you could tell it's bullshit. I had a guy who copied my stuff, and he claimed he trained the Canadian Special Forces. One of my nephews is a major, so I said, do you know this guy? He goes, I've never heard of him. So I wrote to him, I said, hey, you're plagiarizing my shit. And he says, oh, I've got a big department. It could be one of my ghostwriters. I said, bullshit. On Facebook today, you asked to borrow a gym to film. I said, you don't even have your own facility, so you're basically a loser. And then, so then I asked a general from the Canadian military. I said, do you know this guy? And after 2 days investigation, he handed out the socks to the Special Forces, but our second unit, the Royal Commandos. They're not our best unit. The best unit is GTF2. So he was a sock handler. So that was his only contact with the Special Forces. And he got kicked out of the Canadian Forces for plagiarism, right? And somebody made a call to him. And suddenly, his big staff that couldn't remove the stuff on the web had done it in 10 minutes, right? So, I mean, I see a lot of...
The French-Canadian mafia made a call to him?
No, I would say it's some military guy, but anyway.
Okay.
The thing is that there's a lot of very good, smart guys like Josh Bryant, for example, or Ed Cohn or Matt Venning. So you got to kind of find out what they've done. For example, Josh Bryant bench pressed 600 pounds, being the lightest man to do it and the youngest man to ever do it. So he knows how to improve a bench press. People say, well, you know, performance is not a thing. I'll say, well, you don't get to go from 400-pound bench press to 600 pounds by accident. What got you to bench 400 pounds is not what's going to get you from 400 to 600, right? So I think practical experience is very important. And you find that, for example, a good friend of mine is Ed Cohn. He's the most medal powerlifting champion in the world. I think 77 world records in a deadlift. He's not formally educated, but I did a teaching tour with him, and 3 times a day, I learned something from him that I never heard of. Never. You know, I've been doing this 40 years. And I'd say, where'd you get that? But the thing with him, he said, oh, I learned this from Ernie France, I learned this from this other guy, or I figured it out myself.
So he was learning from the best.
Learning from the best. So I really believe that, you know, if you learn from the best, that's the shortcut. And I give classes all over the world, and I'm going to start very soon a mastermind group, because what I find is that the new generation that, you know, has a really hard time with practical elements of strength training. They read online. The guy could be passionate and read online, but there's a thing, it's like, I could watch all the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. It doesn't make me a karate expert. Best way is to get into 600 fights. You know, we have that saying in fighting sport, 500 fights is the minimum to learn how to fight. So you have to have somebody who has had experience in the trenches.